Hey there, I'm Marina Ormes, and here's your Astro vibe for Sunday, August 21st. Today's theme that I want to talk to you about is how to revolutionize your thinking. And I want to share with you today some of what's coming up for this week. I did have a request from someone who said, hey, it would be so helpful to have a little heads up of what's coming for the week so I can plan my week. And so let's talk a little bit about what's coming up this week and what how things might unfold. So one thing that we're talking about, of course, with revolutionizing your thinking is that Mars is now in Gemini. And Mars is the planet of action. It's the warrior planet. It's how we take action, move in the world, make decisions, find our warrior spirit to move forward and make a difference. And so that, of course, is everything from, taking actions that can be harmful, that can bring harm to others, to taking actions that can be very, very helpful in the world. So look at that spectrum of what Mars energy can bring and look at your actions or inactions and just ask yourself, is what I'm doing or not doing bringing more help, or maybe I could be doing more to move in the direction of helpful actions and energies. So, and when I say helpful, I mean like creativity, being more of your true self, doing things that move you and people around you in the direction of healing, offering kindness, offering compassion and new solutions, new thinking. And of course, with Mars going into Gemini, we have this energy of action and decision making and the need to move in the world. Being in an air sign that is all about ideas, thoughts, curiosity, asking questions, and the time period that Mars is going to be in Gemini is extended because Mars will go through most of Gemini as it usually does, but then it's going to station retrograde and it's going to move back through Gemini and then go direct and go forward again. So in essence, taking almost, about 3 times longer in Gemini than it normally would be in a sign. And in fact, it's more than 3 times because Mars will be in Gemini for a total of 7 months. And normally Mars stays in a sign for about 2 months. So we've got a very extended stay, a lot of going over the energy of Mars in Gemini. What does that look like? So to put this in context, in perspective, we had the last time Mars went retrograde, it went retrograde in Aries. And we had an extended stay of Mars in a sign prior to the January 6th insurrection. And that was in 2021. Mars it had its extended stay during the second half of 2020, which, we recall that year being one where a lot of shifts and challenges came up, and many of which we're still working through as we speak. So that Mars in Aries extended stay in 2020 brought the energy of looking at action, looking at what it means to take action, to be a warrior. And again, not necessarily to initiate warfare, which is certainly one possibility, but also to initiate healing, to initiate creative solutions, to initiate a way of balancing and countering negative energies. So and thinking back to 2020 and what was coming up in your life and where you needed to take action and where you were discovering, what it means to have courage and to move forward in a way that is in alignment with the things that you want, the outcomes that are important to you, a world where people care about one another, and a world where we're open to new solutions. So that's the context. The last time Mars was in Aries, or the last time Mars was in a sign for an extended stay, that was how that went. Okay, so think now about Mars going into Gemini and being there for an extended stay. So what will that look like? How will that be different from Mars being in Aries for an extended stay? Well, again, Gemini is the sign of thinking, of mental processes, of communication, ideas, messages. Gemini is ruled by Mercury, and Mercury is the messenger. So it's how ideas get conveyed, what the essence of the idea is, how that idea can change through communication, through processing information, through learning new things. So again, we always have the lower vibration of possibility and a higher vibration of possibility. So with Mars in Gemini, if we are pushing an idea that is fixed or inflexible, pushing a narrative that doesn't serve the greatest good, that can become a weapon. Right. So the weaponization of information is one of the things we could be dealing with. The fight over ideas, and the battle over whose ideas are going to win, and how that's going to go. So battle of ideologies, a battle over the narrative, a battle over messaging. Those are the kinds of things we're going to see. I've also talked about we might see more developments in investigations, in information being released, in proceeding forward with a curiosity and a willingness to learn, and learning new things, both publicly and privately. So moving forward in this area of learning, of ideas, of information, and how we process that information, how we are willing to adjust our thinking. And so looking at the higher vibration of what Mars in Gemini can look like for an extended stay, we're looking at changing ideas, changing ideology, opening our minds, curiosity, having a mind of wonder, openness to thinking of new ways to say things, finding the words, finding the messaging. And so again, we can certainly see what's going on in the collective, that's going to really become, over the next several months, a battle of ideology. And so what kind of warrior do you want to be? And the higher vibration of stepping into this Mars in Gemini energy is to be open-minded, to be curious, to say, hey, maybe there's another way of saying that. Maybe there's a better way of saying that. Maybe I could listen more to what makes sense in how I'm going to communicate what I want to say, and how that gets conveyed, and listen to what others want to hear, and listen to what works and what doesn't. So it's a good time for writing, for communications of all sorts, for working with media in terms of messaging. And again, just the highest vibration of Gemini energy is to have that open mind, curiosity, exploration, following ideas. Now, the downside of that, of course, is that you can get distracted. It's easy to go off on tangents, get lost in ideas, or go down rabbit holes that aren't really effective. So, so check yourself and say, you know, okay, is this avenue that I'm exploring, is it leading to something fruitful? You know, should I back up and maybe go investigate something else? So taking that time to check in, to ask whether your explorations of ideas are leading down a fruitful path, whether the words you're using, the communication that you're stepping into, is that landing? Does it need some adjustments? How can you be continually learning and engaging your mind to see what is the best way to go about something, and so that distractible Gemini energy on the one hand can lead us to endless distractions and inability to focus, but on the other hand it can also allow us to see things that we couldn't necessarily see without because we get tunnel vision. Like that's the downside of focus, right? Is tunnel vision, and we kind of block out extraneous noise, but in that noise there might be a new idea that we haven't thought of yet, or something new, a new avenue to explore, and something that we could learn more about. So that is the positive side of Gemini energy. Definitely use this time. And of course, Mars is going to go direct for quite, for the first bit here, and then slowly slow down and station retrograde. And so when it goes retrograde, we go inward, we review the ideas, we do a lot of reflection, we evaluate and analyze and think about what works best and what doesn't. And then Mars goes direct again, and we start to put our ideas forward and take action on them in that Mars kind of way, from the warrior spirit. So that's happening this week. We've now got Mars in Gemini, so we're beginning to be in this energy of shifting from Mars in Taurus, which is just the energy of the bull pushing through, without being swayed from the path, continuing to move forward, and taking methodical step one after another, those methodical steps. So as we now are in Mars in Gemini, we're stepping into this area of moving into the thinking and the ideas and the words that we're using, the communication, the language, the message, all of those things. Okay, so that's happening this week. And then we are in the part of the moon cycle where the moon is waning. We've got a new moon coming up next Saturday. And so we got, over the course of this week, the moon is going to be moving past its, it's just past, currently just past its third quarter, and is going to be heading toward that new moon. And so we're in the waning part of the moon cycle, entering that last phase, that final week as we head into the new moon. Things move more into the realm of mystery, things that have been learned and discovered throughout this moon cycle are being processed and integrated and put into action, into your identity, or how you present yourself, sense of self. And of course, the themes of this moon cycle are about voice, self-expression, with this Leo. It began with the Leo new moon on June 28th. So self-expression, seeing how you shine your light, how you need to put yourself out there, authentically and truthfully and according to your own deeper truth. So moving into the part of this cycle where it's looking back at, what did you learn, what did you try, how did you express yourself, what came of that, what did you learn that now gets put into the way things are going forward? How does it get integrated, implemented, normalized, routinized as we get ready for the dissolving and releasing that happens prior to the next new moon that's coming up on Saturday. So there's some dissolving energy, some moving into the mystery as we reflect on and take action on and make choices about how who we are, how we see ourselves now, and who we are, who we have become based on what we've learned about our self-expression. So we're integrating and implementing that self-expression, putting it into our sense of self, which could be in the way that you put your self out there on social media, in your writing, in the way that you speak or show up or communicate with others. It's how you come across. So that new sense of self-expression is being expressed. So we've got that moon now, and the moon, of course, will be let's see, so later today, Sunday, August 21st, the moon will go from Gemini into Cancer. Then we've got a couple of days of the moon in Cancer energy, which is about caring, about nurturing, about feelings, about needs. So there's like some feelings happening and some self-care needed, and attending to what it is you need to feel safe, to feel nourished, to relax into just the simplicity of being, and whatever emotions might be there that you need to feel or process, or that movement of emotional energy is so important as we think about whole self wellness, and not just wellness in body, but also in mind and emotions. So we're working on that emotional level and attending to emotional needs. So that's the moon in Cancer. And then on Wednesday, the moon goes into Leo, and we have this like rehashing review of that Leo energy that we began the moon cycle with, self-expression. What have we learned? How is that being shared? How are we shining our light? Self-expression. So what does it mean to put yourself into form that gets seen and heard and recognized and appreciated by others? So reviewing and completing some of that Leo energy, what needs to get integrated and worked through, completed, to release it for the next moon cycle. So that will be the Leo moon, and that's on Wednesday. And then after the moon goes into Leo, the moon will be heading into Virgo on, looks like, Friday. And then so that Virgo moon is preparing for the new moon in Virgo, and that will be more attending to details, to the behind the scenes work with the Virgo energy. What does it look like to put yourself into things, get your hands on them, see things being created, and attend to the little things, the details, places where something might need a little repair or improvement or some maintenance, attention to making things feel beautiful and more perfect, closer to perfect, as we work on making improvements. So that's the Virgo moon and the Virgo new moon that will be toward the end of the week. And then also we have this week the energy of Uranus going going retrograde. And so when a planet changes directions, it slows down and then it slowly changes from direct to retrograde or retrograde to direct. So forward to backwards, to use lay terms. And in this case, we have Uranus stationing, slowing down to turn retrograde to go backwards. So it's going to join the other outer planets who are all currently retrograde. And so we'll have all 5 outer planets retrograde, and we'll have that heightened energy of Uranus during its retrograde station, which is on August 24th. So on Wednesday is the station of Uranus, that heightened Uranian energy. It brings the energy of rebellion, revolution, freedom, changes, sudden changes, unexpected developments. What does it look like for something to, some kind of earthquake energetically to shake us up and bring something new into our awareness? So we've got that heightened energy of Uranus as Uranus changes direction to go inward, where we will be working inwardly on the themes of authenticity, freedom, rebellion. So that's why our theme today is revolution in thinking, because Mars in Gemini brings that energy of thinking and thought and curiosity and questions. And then as we have this Uranus station, we're also bringing in the energy of revolutionizing and bringing change. And that's going to be happening over the coming years as Pluto goes into Aquarius. We've got Saturn in Aquarius, and where it's helping to us to see and think about new ways forward, and what does revolutionizing some of our systems and structures look like. So thinking just really outside the box, like, not just how can we preserve things the way that we've been, or the things we liked about the way the world has been, and how do we preserve that, but also how can we even imagine it to be better than it has ever been before, and what does that look like, and how would we take action, and what would be our ideas, our messages, our communication, if we had that bigger picture perspective of openness to change, of truly allowing things to move in a direction that brings in something that we have never been before. What could that look like? What can you imagine that looking like? And so to make the most of that extra Uranus energy that we have, letting yourself think outside the box, think about your vision for the future, why it's important to you, what you love about it, and then allowing that just to be part of your awareness so that you can work through this process of finding the right words, of communicating, of sharing your ideas, trying out new ideas, some of which may end up at dead ends, but that's totally fine. It's the process of brainstorming and putting things out there, because it helps you get out of your old limited thinking, right? To expand into new possibility. And that is what the energy of this week is kind of planting a seed for. It's saying, allow yourself to expand your thinking, to move into new possibilities, to open your mind, and to begin a process of allowing your ideas to be shaped by ideals rather than just fears of trying to hold on to what you're afraid of losing. So there's inspiration there, and I think that is part of what these planets are inviting us to do. And of course, we're completing the moon cycle. We're heading into Virgo, the next cycle, which will be based in the Virgo new moon, where we're going to roll up our sleeves and look at what does it look like to do the, one brick at a time to build the cathedral. So even though your thinking might be big and your ideas might be great, it's still going to take a lot of work. And so what does that look like? How do you create your day-to-day life to support yourself in that work and support yourself in your self-care so you can sustain what it's going to take to build this cathedral, and what that looks like for you in your life and your contribution to the world, as opposed to just again, trying to get by. Like, what does it look like to be creative, to be contributing, to feel good because you're doing something meaningful? And so these are the ways that this week is going to bring particular energies to support us in the unfolding of those themes. Additionally, this week, we also have a grand trine between Pluto, Mars, and Mercury that will last for a few days. And a grand trine brings in the energy of flow. It's kind of like tuning your antenna to the right channel. It just flows right in. So a grand trine, on the one hand, gives us like this connection to easy flow of energy, easy to make things happen, easy for energies to move. On the other hand, if you're not clear and again, choosing from the highest possibilities, choosing to align with what's important to you, you have to remember that whatever it is that you're putting your energy into is going to be magnified. And so if you're in fear, if you are in again, that place of just trying to cling to what makes you feel safe, that's what's going to be magnified. That is what will be facilitated by this grand trine and can expand and manifest. So be sure to be putting your energies into the positive, into the things you want, and the things that feel good and right and true. And the grand trine energy can support that. So again, it's all about, what is our willingness to learn, to grow, to step into our truth, to become something that we really feel proud of, to do things that are meaningful and creative and powerful. So again, this week brings some energies that are supportive, but you want to make sure that you're on the side of affirming what it is you want that support to be feeding into. And again, Cancer moon for the first part of the week, Wednesday going into a Leo moon, more self-expression. The Cancer energy will be more like a hunker down, take care of yourself kind of feeling. And the Leo moon will be more about moving outward and being seen and connecting with others and shining your light. And then we move into Virgo at the end of the week, where we're thinking about rolling up our sleeves and what does it look like to put things into action, into integration in our daily lives, and how can we sustain ourselves for the work that there is to do to make these wonderful things that we can imagine and envision, and that make our lives even better than what we have ever experienced, and being able to imagine that and work toward that by being inspired. Awesome. So I am going to end there. Thank you so much for your thoughts and questions on my videos. I'd love to hear what you think about this one, what you want to hear more of from me. And And yeah, and what you're doing in your life to connect with higher possibilities and your own truth, how you're taking care of yourself. So thanks for your comments. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe so that you get the daily Astro vibe and the daily update of what's going on and how to make the most of it. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.